Alright guys, so here we are in the kind of the chicken coop corner of the serene forest, and we're going to talk about something that's kind of new over here. I just made this within the last probably 2 weeks, and what you're looking at right here is our soldier fly larvae collector, essentially. So basically this is a compost bin that we have rigged not only for the compost but also to collect the soldier fly larvae, so that way we have some free chicken feed for our little chickies over here. I've seen some people do this where they basically have it deposit right into the chicken coop or the chicken run, but we don't really have a good setup for something like that, especially with how hot it gets over here. So we have this one set in the shade. It's on a table, and so we'll just start going over some of the basic parts of this. So as you can see, it's just a store-bought storage tote or plastic bin. If I could do this one over, I would have picked one that doesn't have a lid that cuts in. I would have rather it gone the opposite way, because what happens is when it rains, this all collects water. So I had to remedy that by drilling some holes to let the water get out, so that this thing wasn't just sitting here and just begging for mosquitoes. So if you decide that this is something you want to mimic, or the next time I make one, I'm gonna choose a better tote that doesn't have a lid like this. So over here you've got some PVC pipe. This is basically just where the actual soldier flies will fly into. So it does offer some protection from the rain like this. I do think a little bit of water does get down into here, but I can't tell if it's coming in through where I've cut and put this PVC in, or if for some reason the wind's blowing it in there. But you can see it's just a T fit onto another piece of PVC. So when you open, this is what the inside looks like. So here we deposit all of our food scraps, or anything we're not basically going to feed the chickens. I got the idea to tie a string in that cardboard from a YouTube video I saw. That corrugated cardboard, they believed, was attracting a nice spot for the black soldier flies to lay their eggs, although I have not seen any eggs in my cardboard. I also think it gets a little wet from either that leak or the rain, so I don't know if that's turning them away, but it's literally just a piece of twine taped on through a piece of cardboard. As you can see, we've got lots of food scraps in here, even some eggs. And I will be honest, compared to my other compost bins, I don't see a whole lot of soldier fly larvae action in this bin like I have seen in the past. I don't know if this one's getting too hot or there's not enough air circulating through, but occasionally when I come in here, it's full of them. So next thing I have is just a random kind of landscaping brick that I've had laying around, and that's just to give the soldier flies something to land on that's not the food, and for them to lay their eggs or take a rest for a second. Next, I have the PVC pipe that I've drilled holes into, and basically that's just there for the escape of the soldier fly larvae once they're ready to pupate. So the idea is that they'll sit in here and eat the food scraps and break them down, and then when they're ready to turn into a soldier fly, they want to leave this area, because if they pupate here, they risk getting eaten by either their, I guess, cousins or even other insects that are in here eating these food scraps. So they want to leave. So we give them these ramps to get up and out. So I've got two. One I kind of sat underneath here so it's in the compost, so they can either climb through there or go up and get into one of these holes. And then eventually they leave the bin and then have nowhere else to go but down this T connector into this bucket, and then that's where they're collected until I come out here and dump them out to the chickens. Now I've seen similar setups that are more caveman-like, with just wood and super simple and not this clean or closed-looped, but I've also seen way fancier setups, but this one only cost me about 45 bucks. And it took me 30 minutes to make. So overall, I think it's turned out well, and we'll continue to use it and keep trying to identify ways that we can improve on this design. Oh yeah, so another thing I would like to point out is that kind of the lid of the bucket, still I have a similar problem with the lid of the bucket as I do the lid of the tote. So when it rains, water will collect there. Sometimes I kick it out at an angle just to try and give it some better drainage. But yeah, I've seen people use milk jugs, and maybe that would be better because it can't collect water anywhere. So I might try that next, depending on what my success rate is with this setup.